And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good morning, traders. Welcome back. It's Tuesday, Synthetic Monday, September the 7th. I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. We've got a short week this week. Not a lot of economic numbers, so some digestion going on. Don't forget, we have equities and currencies in rollover. Thursday's switch date. I'll be switching over in the S&Ps and the currencies on Friday. That's usually the day when the volume does roll over, when it comes to rollover. But don't forget, rollover does come with specific challenges. It changes the market a little bit. So make sure you are extra patient, looking for that good risk management, always thinking about context. And again, bears saying twice, patient. I'm looking forward to this week. There's a lot of stuff coming out this week. Today we have the Coach's Playbook at about 11:30. 12:30, we'll be restarting something we did a while back called Futures 101 through 401. I'm going to pop the link in for that right now. Oh, hang on. I had it in here and I lost it. So this is the link for 12:30 today, Futures Trading 101. We're going to be talking about the history of futures trading, an unofficial history of futures trading. Should be interesting. But every day, well, this week, Tuesday through Friday, but for the next three weeks, Monday through Thursday, we're going to have more and more information, more and more content, more and more live content for you. So we're going to be looking forward to those. Don't forget, we have group coaching also on Wednesday. Hang on, I'm going to grab that link, put it in here as well. And it is Market Therapy Week. The good doctor is going to be with me tomorrow at 3:15, just after the markets close. We'll be talking about how it is and how to deal with working so hard at something that there's no guarantee we're going to make money at. This is a very difficult thing to do, and we're going to be talking about how to deal with those situations, those feelings, and those ideas. So I'm looking forward to this week. Lots of opportunities to spend more time with you, and hopefully you'll find that helpful. This morning, there's no economic numbers due out, just some short-term bill auctions and announcements. Looking at what we've got coming at us this week. Tomorrow, Red Book, job openings and labor turnovers, and Beige Book. Nothing all that important. That Beige Book means that it's 2 weeks now before the next FOMC meeting. That's all that Beige Book usually means to me. Thursday, we've got the jobless claims as usual. Nat gas, petroleum status report for crude is apparently going to be on Thursday because of the holiday on Monday. So we'll have all of our energy numbers on Thursday. And then Friday, the producer price index final demand. That's going to be something that we'll be keeping an eye out. But all in all, a pretty thin looking economic calendar for us. As usual, please hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling are always welcome. Join our YouTube channel if you would like to be notified when we do go live. We have The VIX up about 5%, still a pretty low number though, 17.22%. The dollar index up slightly this morning at 92.34, and the 10-year yield continuing to creep higher and higher, 1.37% this morning last I checked. Always have to say good morning, Ed Nilsson. First in the room, you win the prize. Happy Tuesday to you. Brett, good morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Of course, we had some good rest and took care of some things and had a lot of fun. Hopefully, Andres, Tone, Bill, Brian, Jorg, good morning. Best trader community in the world. Well, and we're trying to make it even better now with some more opportunities for us to take a look. These futures 401 to 101 to 401, a lot of it's pretty basic stuff. A lot of it is stuff you're already going to know. But I find that there's always more information that I find as I go along. So it gets a little bit more deeper and a little bit more complicated as we go on from 101 to 201 to 301 to finally 401. We're going to be looking at some market profile information, and finally we're going to be talking about hypothesis context and planning for our final one at 401, futures 401. So in the meantime, lots of good information, cardinal rules of trading, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, even some psychology. All of these things are a part of this 4-week long program, and I'm really looking forward to presenting it to everybody. So, all right, where was I? Frederico, Steve, Janus, Ryan Williams, stack some bananas today. Stacking bananas. Rob T. Caesar, James, good morning. Jason, James, Theo, good to see you this morning. Zoraine, Murph, good morning, sir. NM, good morning. Steve Lee, good to see you. Laura, good to see you. Ryan, Razor Trades. I like that. Razor Trades. I like that name. Welcome to the forecast. If this is your first time here, you don't recognize that, but I've got my cup of coffee here with you. Spencer wrote, sideways markets are so boring. Yes, they can be, but don't forget we are in September. We're coming into October, November. Some of those, some typically more volatile numbers in some of our markets here. Cameron, Spencer, looking forward to Futures 101. Good. Hey, John, I signed up for those Zoom calls. Will there be a replay available? Not this time through. We're going to go through them this time, see how they go, if they're popular, if people are enjoying them. We'll do them again, and we'll probably record them and have them as reusable information. So looking forward to seeing you there, Frankie. Frederico, Ricardo, Toadman, PD Legend, good to see you this morning. Adrian, Justin Caraway, Ocean Blue, good to see you as well. Daniel and Juan, Trading Research, good morning. Happy Tuesday to you as well. All right. So the three links that are in the group, in the chat. The top one, which one is that? I think that's group coaching tomorrow. No, that's Futures 101 today. The second one is group coaching tomorrow. The third one, market therapy with Dr. Andrew Menaker. Of all of those, I feel like the most important one for us to get to is the session with Dr. Andrew Menaker. He's a clinical psychologist. He's an active trader. He's excellent at what he does, and I always enjoy having our conversations. So we'll be looking forward to that. Daniel, Vince, good morning. All right, so without any further ado, let's take a look at what we're seeing in the charts. As always, we start with the daily and crude. Always challenging for me on Mondays, or synthetic Mondays as this might be. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 days of balance. We're looking at really just the last week's high and low as the extremes of those balance, and we're still inside of that. We've got crude oil moving lower. We had yesterday just really a non-settlement day. A non-settlement day is a day where it's an abbreviated day. We're still working off of Friday's settlement price in crude oil, which was $69.29. So we're looking at some pretty deep weaker hands shorts coming into the open here. This might be interesting for an opportunity for us. Last week's range extremes, of course, short time frame controlled. We're coming into rollover. Not this Thursday. Next Thursday is roll day for crude oil. So we have to remember that we are coming into rollover. It's the front end of it, but it still might start to affect price and kind of participation as well. On this day off this high here, we lost about 1,500 in open interest. I would definitely be thinking of that as some long liquidation. And let's look at the 30. So we had a potential bear bull flag breakout. Gave us a pretty decent opportunity. Came right back down to it. Friday, very narrow range, kind of spanning it. Today, opening with a gap with a considerable gap, some considerable short overnight inventory. There's certainly some naked points of control and some other objects of interest down in this area. We've got a naked point of control down here at 67.40. We've got the lower end of that bold channel down here that would also be something interesting, as well as the low from last week. So if we continue this move to the downside, there's certainly some visuals for traders to be focusing on. And we all know that traders, when they're focusing on a specific level, they tend to push price that direction. It just seems to happen. We've got a lot of overnight shorts. We've got a gap. If the opening range ends up being the low of the session, that might be a pretty good sign that our overnight shorts are getting a little bit nervous and may bring price back up to higher levels. If we don't see that, if we see selling continuing in this market, then it's going to be indicating perhaps some longer time frame traders perpetuating price in the direction for our shorter, weaker hands traders. One thing is for sure, if we do get a inventory adjustment back towards settlement from Friday or back towards the range close from yesterday, I don't think I'm going to be falling in love with it. I think I'm going to be anything in the long side. I'm going to be reasonable and probable with my targets, with my profit targets. Not going to be looking at this thing going to the moon. Anything I take contrary is going to be a faster trade. Take a look at the E-mini S&Ps now. All right. So here's the daily. Here we have Monday. Here we have Friday, an indecisive day. We've had 3 or 4 indecisive days last week where the market is really just trying to continue to creep higher. It's doing some consolidation and some evening of inventory. We lost about 400 in inventory on Friday in open interest. We don't have the numbers from yesterday because yesterday was not a settlement day. We'll get the information from yesterday and today's activity tomorrow on the bulletin. So we don't know what happened yesterday as far as open interest is concerned, but we can pretty much guarantee it wasn't much. Look at the volume down here. Just absolutely no volume yesterday because we all took yesterday off, hopefully. So we do have a situation where the all-time high remains in the extended trading hour session. Nasdaq, not so much. Friday's profile and negative delta was unsubstantiated by open interest. Friday's profile, we had pretty much an up move, and there was some pretty deep negative delta against direction, which is usually an indication of an accumulation of longer time frame. In this case, we lost 400 in open interest, so that delta and move on Friday unsubstantiated. We did not bring in new buyers in that move to the upside. It was more of a evening of inventory with a change of open interest of minus 400. We didn't really do all that much. It's kind of interesting. Short covering meets a little bit of new shorts. It's kind of what it looked like yesterday. Were you putting in an island top here? Are we putting in an island top? Let's look at the 30-minute chart here. No. Or are we? Here's what we're looking at. I'm just to make this big so we can all see it. We gapped higher to yesterday's very small activity, but now we've gapped lower. This is indicative of an island top. We got to remember we do have the all-time high in the extended trading hour session. That's not going to be a good for a positive here. Settlement is here. 45.34.50. We have what we would call an island top. We gapped open to Monday's regular trading hour session range. We're gapping away from Monday's regular trading hour session range. This can be a pretty substantial reversal pattern. I just don't think we're done doing business up here, and don't forget that we are in rollover. So what does that mean for the bigger picture? That means range bound. Lots of targets, lots of short time frame levels with which to look at, and we are enrolled. So I'm thinking we're probably not going to be seeing any major moves in this market. I'm thinking we're going to stay more range bound as our longer time frame traders seek a cheap rollover. So we're kind of in the middle of it. We're in the middle of Friday's range, which I'm viewing as far more substantial or serious than yesterday's range. There was no volume up there, but it's just interesting that it's created an island top, and that's something we've got to be paying attention to. As far as this morning is concerned, opening in range, in value, no overnight inventory. We've traded right back to settlement here in the last half an hour. There's nothing really that much to do. It looks like the perception of value is still inside Friday's area of value, so I'm going to say stay patient. Yes, regular trading hour island. That's exactly what we put up there yesterday. So that's something I'm going to have to keep an eye on, something I'm going to have to keep in mind. But I don't think it's that serious because, when you think about it, Matt, it happened on a holiday. It happened when there was no volume. I'm sure very little change in open interest. Does it still represent that island? Time will tell. It's something to keep an eye on, something to further probably create cognitive dissonance for us in the day time frame. But it's still settlement in range. Stay patient. Best opportunities likely to come later on in the session. The Nasdaq. New all-time high in Monday's session. Indecisively yesterday, or last week, I should say. We creating another island top here. It's quite possible. Open interest, at least. We had an increase in open interest on the upside here on Friday. We didn't just kind of we had a moot open interest on Friday in the S&Ps, which was a bit of a surprise to me. I was looking for an increase in open interest. But, hey, we don't get to choose. So here we got our all-time high in regular trading hour session when there was nobody around. Again, another island top. We gapped to it. We gap away from it. We're still here near settlement. 15,651.50 is settlement. I'm not in any hurry to do anything, and this island top is going to remain on my mind until it's taken out. We did have, maybe this isn't, we don't have an all-time high in the overnight session. It happened in the extended trading hour session here. High 15,708.75, 708.77, So this happened in the overnight. All right, well, I'm a little happier about that, but it still leaves this island top for us to deal with. And again, with price this centrally located inside Friday's value, which I view true value, because of the participation that was available, I'm going to stay patient and chill a little bit here, looking for better trade locations. Nasdaq again, also in rollover, also likely to stay range bound instead of becoming wildly directional. Of course, any news thing that can happen can create that. We're all aware of that. The headline risks are always around, but in my hypothesis and the things that I know, I'm going to stay patient and look for better trade locations as the day goes on. Gold, boy oh boy, gold has been just stair-stepping higher. Bull flag, under bull flag, under bull flag. Are we going to fail on this bull flag here today? Friday, excuse me, I am sorry. Friday, we had a pretty good boost in open interest, pushing this market higher, breaking out above the top side of this bull flag, basically trading right to our weekly kickoff high, which still remains 1838. We didn't quite get there. 36 was our high from last week. Monday we come off. Today we come off. We're dealing with the top trend line here of this bull flag. If we can't hold it, then the next move would probably be to the lower side of this trend line. But right now it seems we're at least holding. I was looking at this morning, and it looks like a tempting opportunity here down near this trend line, right? But you've had to expend a little bit of risk to try and get into it. So here's our daily. Here's Friday's activity up to almost that weekly kickoff high, which is right here, actually. I don't know why these things keep moving around on me. So within a couple of bucks of it. Friday, Monday, inside range and value. We've got some considerable overnight shorts in this market. I am considering overnight shorts to include the activity from yesterday because there was such little activity yesterday. I mean, very low volume, shortened time frame, no settlement day. So settlements all the way up here at 1833.70. We've gotten a pretty short time frame if that's the case. And if that is the case and we don't see continuation down below this level, then we're going to see an inventory adjustment that could take us back to point of control from yesterday, point of control from Friday, or even points higher depending on how short our short time frame really is. So I'm kind of watching this. We did open with a gap rules. If we can't close the gap relatively early, well, then we look for opportunities to the downside. But I'm looking at this as a very short time frame market. If I'm looking for opportunities to sell it, I'm going to be patient and wait for some sort of an inventory adjustment to give me a better trade location to look for that short. For the euro, all right, almost a similar situation as gold. They've been really kind of holding hands for a while now. The bull flag that seems to be forming finally here up against a weekly kickoff high from last week. Weak open interest on Friday. We lost 600 in open interest. Pretty obviously potential long liquidation event that's going to take selling power out of the market. Monday started to put in this lower trend line. On the lower trend line right now, our bull flag basically created by the high and low of the extended trading hour into the regular trading hour range here in the Nasdaq. We are kind of stuck back in a previous area of consolidation. I mentioned this was probably going to be a sticky area to get through, and I think that's beginning to kind of come true now. Taking a look at the 30 minute here. So here's our potential bull flag. Here's our my goodness, I am sorry. Let me take a sip of coffee here. So if we're looking for opportunities at this trend line, they are here. There might be some fish here. We can find some support here. We've got settlement all the way up here Is this all overnight short inventory coming down to this level? If it is, and we can't find sellers down here, an inventory adjustment could be in play here. So, opening with the gap, unable to close the gap perhaps, may keep us looking to the downside. But I believe for your Euro traders, I think there's quite possibly some fish here. We'll see how that looks on the recap. And for the 10-year, here we are, about a week and a half after rollover. We're still range bound. We're still not doing all that much. One thing about this is it has broken out below last week's range, which is something I'm finding interesting. We've got a weekly kickoff downside target here. If this swing low, these swing lows are targeted or visualized by traders, there might be a decent opportunity to take the market down to that level. We've got a gap here. We got overnight shorts. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. Here's Friday's stab to the upside after the unemployment number came out. Settlement is up here, 133.12.5 ticks. Put that on your chart. Monday's very limited activity, and seeing this market continue this move to the downside. All of the activity from Friday's close has been to the downside. We are just hitting a naked point of control from the past here. This looks like an interesting opportunity, and if this doesn't hold, weekly kickoff hold becomes our next area for us to be able to limit our risk. All right. All right, we've got about 4 minutes left. I'd like to be done before the equity open. I see that there's some other questions there, and if they're time based, I'm sorry about that. But if you're so interested, come to the 101 session today, and it's I'm probably going to be yammering for about 20-25 minutes, and then there's room for questions tomorrow. Same thing, and then group coaching at 1 o'clock. It's going to be a busy day for me on Wednesday tomorrow. I'm not quite sure how to transfer everybody from the Futures 101 to the group coaching. We may just have to use a different link for that, but we'll figure that out. And then, Dr. Menaker tomorrow afternoon. So I apologize if I couldn't get to the answer to the questions here today. We've got a long week ahead of us, and Island top, yes. An island top is when you have a regular trading hour session. I'm going to go just quickly back to this. An island top is when you have a regular trading hour session. Gap higher. Okay, this is pretty close to the all-time high here. We gapped higher, and now we've gapped lower. You can see as the market begins to open up here, it's already driving to the downside. So that's when you would look at this and say, well, this is a regular trading hour session that had no direct connection with any other regular trading hour session. You put it up the gap, and then you gap away from it. That can be a potential reversal signal. It can even go over days. You can gap up and range up here for a couple of days and then gap lower. It's still an island top. So just a great question. Thought I'd answer that. And now let's get on with our trading day. Get out there and profit today. Stay humble, grateful, and creative. And it's a short week. Sometimes these short weeks tend to take a lot out of us. Make sure you take some time, every hour, every half hour or so. Get up, walk around, get your blood moving, and stay hydrated and fed today. And we'll see you later on for today, Futures 101, and before that, the Coach's Playbook. So I'm going to see a lot of you today. I'm looking forward to it. Trade well today. Get out there and profit. I'll see you in the pit.